Embracing the future through digital transformation with online TV, radio streaming, and active social media platforms, bringing KBC closer to you anytime, anywhere. To our loyal viewers and listeners, we say, KBC, informing the nation, connecting Kenya.
Banks in Kenya now have a new formula for calculating loan interest rates. It's called Kesonia, or the Kenya Shilling Overnight Interbank Average. What is Kesonia? Kesonia is the average interest rate banks charge each other when they borrow money from each other. Think of it like the wholesale price of a bar of soap. Before a shopkeeper sets the retail price, they look at a wholesale price, then add transport, rent, and other expenses to get the final customer price. In the same way, banks use Kesonia as the starting point. They then add their operating costs, staff systems, rent, etc., and a risk premium based on your repayment history to determine your final loan interest rate. Why it matters? Kesonia is fair and transparent because it's based on real market costs and monitored daily by the Central Bank of Kenya. What this means for you? Paying loans on time can get you lower interest and access more credit. Your interest rate will be unique to you based on your repayment history. Even if you've defaulted before, you can rebuild your record and qualify for a better loan interest rate over time. Pay your loans on time, build a strong repayment history, and unlock more opportunities. Contact your bank for more information.
Welcome back to Semana Spokes, Bonga and Gava.
Semana Spokes is your platform to query the government, get answers, and understand what is being done in your country and across the nation. It's your time to ask, participate, and be informed. Don't miss Bonga and Gava every Tuesday at 8 p.m. live on KBC Channel 1.
Hello, and a very warm welcome to you from wherever you're watching us from. This is Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1, coming to you live from the broadcasting house right in the middle of Kenya's capital, Nairobi. My name is Giverson, Maina, and our sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. So join us for the next 1 hour for news within and, of course, across the country. And now, over 2 million people across 23 counties are facing hunger, with 750,000 children malnourished following the ongoing severe drought driven by consecutive seasons of failed or below average rainfall. According to the World Health Organization, the number is projected to rise as food insecurity worsens. In a bid to mitigate the impacts of drought, the government has set aside 6 billion Kenyan shillings to purchase water, food and non-food items and distribute them to the affected families. Take a look.
At Gas village in Marsabit County, the impacts of the ongoing drought have affected tens of children. Children here, like Dosho Wario, a 13-year-old girl, and another 8-year-old boy, are suffering from severe malnutrition due to limited access to clean water and food, restricting their movement.
Watoto wanakonda, wanakofia, kosa afya, hawaendi hata shule, hata kama mgonjwa anakuda, hatuna kitu tunasaidia naye.
Serikali imetoa chakula lakini ni kidogo kidogo tu wanapata. Wanapata ile kidogo yenye wamepewa, wanapika tu siku 2 inaisha.
Maji area ni yote ni chumbi. Watoto ni njaa sababu ni angaro. Maji hakuna, maji mzuri hakuna.
Local leaders fear the situation could worsen if the March and April rains fail.
In the next 2-3 months, kama hakutakuwa na mvua, tunatarajia by the way tutapata mvua ya March, April, May rainfall. Iwapo hiyo ita fail, then itakuwa ni hali hatari zaidi katika kaunti yetu.
Almost everybody here, even the number of kids that we've taken to school, and we know CDF itself is not enough to take all this. We have like almost 7,000 students going to between secondary and colleges in my constituency. And those are millions and millions of shillings. And I think with this drought hitting, we'll run into problems of the parents not being able to afford to pay the school fees.
Speaking during a church service in Aremiet, Isiolo County, the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Human Capital Development and Special Programs, Geoffrey Ruto, disclosed that the government has set aside 6 billion shillings to support drought response efforts.
Mheshimiwa Rais, kiongozi wetu wa taifa, imetafuta pesa. Imetumia shilingi bilioni 6 kununua chakula, kununua mchere, kununua maharagwe, kununua chakula ya mfugo.
Ruto added that every affected sub-county is set to receive 2 trucks of relief food, cautioning administrators against skewed distribution of the relief food.
Kwa vile tunaona vile kiangazi iko, tutaongezea chakula ingine kwa kila sub-county ikwe roli ine.
The CS further emphasized the need for humanitarian support from development partners and well-wishers to strengthen the government's efforts amid worsening drought conditions. Kasichana Masha, Lunchtime News.
And I will take you to Kisumu County, where President William Ruto has asked Kenyans to reject leaders propagating retrogressive politics, challenging the critics of his administration to offer viable ideas to drive the country's progressive development agenda. President Ruto maintains that the bottom-up economic transformation agenda bears a deliberate strategy to solve the youth unemployment headache in the country. The head of state, at the same time, challenged young Kenyans to be proactive in seeking various government funding facilities targeting youth enterprises. He made the remarks in Kisumu County after presiding over the disbursement of 220 million Kenyan shillings in the Nyota Startup Capital Program to over 8,000 youth drawn from Kisumu County, Siaya and Homa Bay. Listen in.
Money going to capitation. This month, money for capitation was in school before students go to school, because education is important and it is the greatest empowerment we can give to our children. Number 2, we have hired 100,000 teachers to fix the challenge of teacher shortage that you left behind. Number 3, we have added more money for universities and TVETs to fix the problem of insolvency that was there in our universities. So we want to tell the rudderless, the leaderless, the agendaless, the planless opposition that you are an opposition without alternative. And you are opposition because you have made opposition your occupation. It is not because you have any alternative plan. Ni kweli ama si kweli, my friends? Tuendelee ama tuendelee? Vile vile, mimi nataka niwaeleze wale majamaa. Nyinyi mnasema pesa tunawapatia hawa vijana ni pesa kidogo. Nyinyi mlishawahi kupatiana pesa ngapi? Wale jamaa wamepatiana pesa zozote? Wale jamaa hawana mpango yeyote. Ati wanatueleza ya kwamba wanataka turudi mpaka miaka 10 iliyopita. Ati the only thing they can tell us, they cannot tell us a plan. They do not have an agenda. They do not have a vision. They do not have a plan for our nation. The only thing they are telling us is that we should go back to NHIF, is that we should go back to education where most of our children did not have teachers in class, is that we should go back. What kind of reform do you engage in by going in reverse? That is not reform, that is retrogression. And I want to say without fear of contradiction, the young people of Kenya have rejected negative politics. They have rejected the politics of slogans. They have rejected the old politics where politicians were talking about tribal arrangements and second-hand leadership. The people of Kenya have said no, they want to move forward. Vijana, ni kweli ama si kweli? Mnataka turudishwe kwa siasa ya chuki na ukabila na mgawanyiko? Mnasema tuende mbele? The young people of Kenya.
Now, from Matters Neuter program to Matters Education, the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET, has warned that the admission of grade 10 learners under the new curriculum could lead to extinction of public sub-county level day schools. KUPPET chairperson Amboko Milemba says there's need for the Ministry of Education to rationalize the placement process, saying sub-county public day schools, also known as C4 schools, predominantly cater for learners from poor backgrounds. This comes amid reports that many public day secondary schools have registered low numbers of grade 10 learners, with some receiving none at all.
There's a challenge with the entrance of grade 10 to schools. The C1 schools, it's like they have taken all the students, and if we don't take care of quartering these entrance to schools, we shall lose the C4 schools. And remember, these are the schools that are actually having the majority of the students who are from poor families because they walk to school and come back. The ministry must think of how to rationalize entrance, both in the C1 schools all the way to the C4 schools, so that we don't lose the real schools which carry 60% of the population of students in Kenya, and those are the C4 schools.
And still on Matters Education, the newly elected Kenya National Union of Teachers NAT officials for Chepkwelel branch in Uasin Gishu County voiced their concerns on challenges they face as teachers, including delayed promotions and medical cover. Now, the officials, led by the new branch executive secretary Kipkoech John, was speaking after the recently concluded peaceful and transparent branch elections for Chepkwelel branch in Eldoret.
This morning, we had our elections for Chepkwelel branch, where we have presided over, and it has been very peaceful, very fair. Our teachers have turned up in a very large number, very huge number. They have exercised their democratic rights, and they have elected leaders of their choice.
Our teachers have got a lot of challenges, spanning from lack of information, the issues of promotion, the issues of even the medical cover. We have to talk with SHA so that the teething problems that our teachers are facing are handled once and for all.
My main issues are on issues of medical scheme, and also the issue that is concerned with retirement benefits for the teachers, and also how we can handle the promotion of teachers as the time comes.
For the classroom teachers, there is so much at stake. For our HOIC, we appreciate the good work that they are doing, and pray that together we move Chepkwelel to greater heights.
Now, the national government, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has been urged to move with speed and ensure Kenyans who travelled abroad in search of greener pastures and are stranded are repatriated. A section of religious leaders led by Stewards Revival Pentecostal Church Bishop Samuel Njiriri say it is regrettable that some Kenyans continue to suffer in foreign countries while others die as they are exposed to human working conditions as they seek greener pastures in places far away from home. He has further called for political tolerance and respect for places of worship, especially as the country heads to the general election.
Vijana wetu wengine ambao tunasikia walienda sijui Russia, tunaona sijui kama ni ukweli, tunaona kwa mitandao wengine wakilalamika ati sijui wanakufia huko. basi Minister ya Foreign Affairs vizuri waangalie kama kuna watoto wetu wanateseka huko nje. Ikiwa kuna wao na wengine ambao tunasikianga wanateseka huko Saudia, pia na wao pia hiyo Ministry ya Foreign Affairs waangalie jambo kama hilo, watoto wetu waturudie na amani, tuwaone wakiwa hai. Lakini opportunities zinapopatikana ni nzuri, lakini tunaangaliliwa ni wapi watoto wanaenda, wasije wakaturudia hapa wakiwa maiti.
Kanisa ni pahali pa kuheshimiwa sana, kwa sababu hata watoto hata zamani ukikimbilia kanisa kulikuwa ni kanisa unaenda kujificha, na kama sasa kanisa ndio inakuwa inachapwa na kunaingiliwa, nasikia kuna huzuni na nasikia Kenya wetu tumekosa mwelekeo. Tafadhali wacha kanisa iheshimiwe na kanisa iheshimiwe.
Tuwezi tukajua ukweli, because kuna wakati unasikia vita kwa kanisa, hatuwezi tukaelewa ni nini kinachoendelea. Na unajua ni siasa inaweza kuwa kwa pande zote mbili. Inaweza kuwa pengine mtu amepanga, inaweza kuwa amepangiwa, na because tuna vikundi vyetu ambavyo ni vya kijasusi, serikali yetu tunasema ina mkono mrefu. Vizuri wale ambao wanaleta furugu kwa kanisa wachukuliwe hatua.
I take you to County 007. In northern Kenya's Marsabit County, deeply rooted cultural norms continue to shape the lives of young women, often with devastating consequences. Practices such as early marriage, teenage pregnancy, and social exclusion remain common among sections of the Gabra community, despite growing efforts by rights groups to challenge them. Our reporter Aaron Murray gives us a picture of the tradition.
The Gabra community mainly lives in North Hor near the Chalbi Desert. Here, cultural sanctions are still enforced against girls who become pregnant before marriage, including public curses and permanent banishment from their homes.
When some girls are found on the wrong side of culture, for they are ostracized with nowhere to go and nowhere to run to. That's why you find them running to Sesi village. And Sesi is just a tip of an iceberg.
We traverse Sesi village, a settlement largely inhabited by women who were sent away after becoming pregnant out of wedlock.
Cultural norm has served the community in part because the original intention was to bring sanctity to marriage. But the problem comes when some girls are found on the wrong side of culture.
Many here say they were cursed and told never to return home.
Msichana anapopata mimba kama hajaolewa anafukuzwa. Na mwanaume ambaye alimpea mimba anabaki tu kwa hiyo kijiji. Hayo jamii wenye wamefanyia wasichana si mzuri.
Alima says she was just 17 when she became pregnant.
Nikafukuzwa na wazazi wangu. Nilikuja kwa hii vijiji. Niko single mothers. Wazazi wangu wanitaki.
With support from World Vision, Alima says she managed to rebuild her life.
Tuko na vikundi ya kina mama. Tunapata loan kutoka hiyo vikundi. Tunasaidiana. Nashukuru sana World Vision vile walituleta pamoja, walitupea mafunzo ya kila aina.
She now belongs to a women's group, earning a living, and her son is currently a student at Maina High School. Another resident, Kumate Gule, also became pregnant at an early age.
Familia yangu wakanifukuza, nikakuja hiki kijiji, nikalea watoto wangu na shida na tabu. Nikalea hao mpaka wakakuwa kubwa. Watu wangu hata wanitaki, wananichukia hata mpaka saa hii dakika hii tuko.
Humanitarian organizations say such cases are widespread. Harmful cultural norms have affected many girls and young men.
Ningeomba kama wangetreat kila mtu venye mwanaume amebaki, msichana pia angebaki tu huko, si kumfanya aende kwingine.
He says most victims only seek help after fleeing their homes, leaving organizations like World Vision to step in with shelter, counseling, and economic support.
The project has supported the victims in paying for school subsidies and helping the women to build their livelihoods by offering financial inclusion and supporting the entrepreneurship mentorship.
But the impact of the curse is not limited to girls alone. Robert Wato admits to impregnating a girl who was later cast and chased away.
Normally, the girl is being abandoned, but the boys are being cleansed. But after long last, I said I am a learned person. I say this thing should not continue. So I happened to marry her because even before that happened, she was my girlfriend. So I said it is good we continue with our life.
Defying tradition, he chose to marry her, despite warnings from elders.
Wherever they are, this community, this unfortunate event takes place every year, every month. The excommunicating of the victim, the female victim, should be dropped.
As communities across Marsabit confront the tension between tradition and human rights, campaigners says meaningful change will only come through dialogue, education, and collective responsibility. Reporting for Sunday Express, I'm Aaron Marie.
Now, Kiambu County government has issued a stern warning to landlords and business owners over the illegal dumping of waste along the road, saying the practice poses rather a serious health risk to residents. Now, speaking during a monthly cleanup exercise in Kiambu town, the county executive committee member for environment, David Korea, said uncontrolled garbage dumping is turning the town into a public health hazard. Korea noted that heaps of waste dumped along roadside is not only an eyesore and health hazard, but are also blocking drainage systems, especially during the rainy season. He urged landlords and business owners to take responsibility for proper waste management, including the use of gunny bags and designated waste bins provided by the county.
We have to take responsibility as individual and as a county, all of us. And we don't have to wait for the government to say that it is a responsibility, but it is a responsibility for every one of us.
We are asking the community around here to ensure that they take this responsibility. They ensure that the environment is clean. They have bins where they can collect their dirt, and they can be able to dispose where the Kiambu County will come and collect them. And we are calling on the Kiambu County to enforce rules and regulations to ensure that every homestead, every business have a place to collect their waste, and that they can be able to be picked up by the Kiambu County and to be disposed of well.
Watu wengi kuwa huwa wanamwaga takataka kwa barabara yenye kuna hizi manyumba, na tutaanza mkataba wa kwenda kufuata kila landlord atatuelezea kwa nyumba yake ni kampuni gani inamchukulia takataka.
Kazi ndio hiyo.
Now listen to this. Over 2.2 tons of used diapers were collected within 72 hours during a recent cleanup exercise in Kilifi County, highlighting the growing challenge of environmental pollution caused by improper diaper disposal. Now, in response, Public Health Officer Kelvin Anungo, working in collaboration with environmental conservation organizations, has launched an initiative to distribute disposal bags to residents for the safe storage of used diapers before disposal at designated dump sites. Anungo also called on various stakeholders to come up with policies and public awareness campaigns to help control the improper disposal of diapers. Meanwhile, residents have urged the government to set aside more waste disposal areas and find a long-term solution to the problem.
ni kama wananchi hawajaelimika kabisa venye tulikuwa tumeelezea. Sasa tukaona kitu kizuri sasa ya kufanya, wacha tutembee nyumba kwa nyumba tukiwapea mifuko, at least waweze kuzikusanya hapo na kuzibeba sasa kuzileta kwa zile dump site.
Harufu mbaya ya diaper, biohazard materials ziko pale zimetapakaa, hizi dawa, hizi sindano za madawa kulevya zimetapakaa kila mahali, na inapungua sana kwa asilimia kikubwa sana watalii.
Bado hata ukichoma kwa nyumba kulala wani shida. Tunaomba jamani muweze kutafutia mahali pa kuzitupa mahali nyingine.
Kuleta kama kuna zile tanks vile ambazo tuweza tumia, ukimaliza unaangusha hapo ili kuzuia hata kuchafua pia mazingira.
Now from Kilifi, I take you to Kakamega County, where the Ministry of Lands has begun digitizing land records in Kakamega County to curb rising cases of land fraud. Now, Kakamega County Lands Officer David Masila noted that all land transactions should be conducted digitally by the end of the year to enhance transparency and protect buyers. He further warned residents, especially in Malava, Lurambi and Navaholo sub-counties, to remain vigilant, noting that an increase in fraud cases in the area.
Lakini pande wa Malava unyang'anyi wa mashamba uko hali ya juu sana. Na ningeomba taasisi ama asasi za serikali ambazo zinahusika kuwa angalifu pande ile ya Kapras. Every day kwa hususan wiki moja katika ofisi yetu zaidi ya watu almost 7 to 10 titles zinakuwa revoked.
And away from that, the government has been urged to put in place strategies to ensure communities are well informed on how to seek justice through public office services to help citizens access their rights when violated. Now, Evelyn Shitandi, a ward representative in Shinyalu, Kakamega County, said many members of the public, especially widows, often miss out on services meant for them due to lack of adequate information.
Tungependa wajane pia wafunzwe jinsi ya kufuatilia haki zao. Halafu pia kuna unyanyapaa katika jamii, sana sana katika vijiji. Wajane wananyanyaswa. Ya kwamba unapata akishafiwa na bwanake, ule urithi, jinsi ya kufuatilia ni ngumu. Kama vile umesikia kama shamba iko kwa succession, unapata ndugu wa bwana ama familia ya bwana inamnyanyasa, saa nyingine inamtupa nje. Anakuwa hana haki kwa ile mali ambayo bwanake amemwachia. Ndio sababu tukatengeza Mama ni Nguzo Foundation isaidie kuelimisha hawa mama na kuwalinda, manake uwezi patia mtu kila siku.
And now that story takes us to a very short commercial break. Don't go too far. There's still so much more coming your way.
Grandpa, can you see me?
I can.
Dr. Chintong, I thank you.
It's part of my job. Thank you all. Thank you.
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
Welcome back to Semana Spokes, Bonga na Gava.
Semana Spokes is your platform to query the government, get answers, and understand what is being done in your country and across the nation. It's your time to ask, participate, and be informed. Don't miss Bonga na Gava every Tuesday at 8 p.m. live on KBC Channel 1.
Now, welcome back. You're watching Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. Now, to a rather sad story. A 15-year-old boy was shot dead in the outskirts of Isiolo town during a cattle rustling incident in the latest wave of insecurity that has rocked the area in the past 1 week. Now, Abdikadir Mohamud Hassan, who met his untimely demise while herding livestock, was buried at the Takwa Muslim Cemetery in Isiolo amidst calls for urgent intervention. The boy's uncle, who was severely injured, is in a coma at Akiro Mission Hospital in the neighboring Meru County.
During the burial for the 15-year-old teenager who died during the raid by cattle rustlers in the outskirts of Isiolo, family and friends alike expressed concerns for their safety. The killing of Abdikadir Mahmoud Hassan raising questions on the response time for security teams in the event of an incident.
Ndugu yangu ako na miaka 15 aliwawa. Baba yangu mdogo ako hospitali Kerwa. Hali yake ni mbaya.
Manyata ilipovamiwa tulipatana na deputy OCS. Tukamwambia hapa watu wako kuvamiwa. Akatuambia nyinyi wenyewe ni wanaume mjisaidie. Tukauliza aje mawe na risasi.
Mkinyamaza hivi mnamaanisha nini? Kwa sababu kila wakati kuna mauaji, kuna uvamizi. Hawa sasa jangili walitoka kichaka mpaka saa hii kuna hofu ndani ya maboma zetu.
Elsewhere, 2 women were arrested in Ilbisil, Kajiado County in a suspected love triangle dispute. A 27-year-old man is said to have been stabbed to death by a middle-aged woman after being found in the company of another woman in his rental house after the confrontation turned violent.
Kwa hiyo harakati tukaamuka, tukaweza kufanikiwa kushika mama wawili, tukaweza kuwashika mpaka polisi wakakuja. Sasa tukajaribu kuangalia huyu marehemu, tumpeleke hospitali.
In Laikipia, leaders are calling for operations to flush out bandits from Mukogodo forest and recover animals stolen from residents.
Security team ya Nanyuki tuite. Tuambie rais na kaja. The only solution we want, without anything else, we must do an operation from Mukogodo forest. We must flush out.
Hatutakubali mfurushwe na mtu yeyote. Hatutakubali usalama ukosekane katika kaunti yetu ya Laikipia, na zaidi hatutakubali majambazi wa wasumbue tena.
The leaders say residents are continuously suffering in the hands of bandits who terrorize them and escape in the cover of the forest where it's been difficult to pursue them. Still on crime, Kisii residents are raising the alarm over a rise in suicide and defilement cases, calling on relevant authorities to urgently intervene to avoid further loss of lives.
Tutaweka usalama wa kutosha because tuko na officers wa kutosha and we have all what it takes kuhakikisha kama kuna usalama.
In the meantime, the coast region has recorded a significant reduction in crime incidents last year, with only 1,092 cases reported by the end of the year, down from 1,254 in 2024 and 2,101 in 2023.
We're able to have crack down on issue of illicit brews, drugs, organized criminal gangs. We had tourists who came in big numbers, both international and local tourists, and the level of occupancy, hotel occupancy, was at 98%. And this is attributed towards, one, commitment to excellency, teamwork and resilience, and community engagement.
Yusufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
Now I'm bringing into another section we call our interactive segment, and the question today is how can you leverage insurance for education, especially now during the transition of about, I think, grade 9 to grade 10 and junior secondary to senior secondary, lower primary to upper primary, and so forth, and so forth and so forth. And now to help us, of course, delve on that matter is David Acham. David Acham is the National Sales Manager at Kenyan Alliance Insurance Company. David Acham, welcome to the studios.
Thank you.
And my first question is, you know, there are many, of course, there are millions of learners in school today. But of course, even as they progress, so many of them continue to drop because maybe they cannot afford school fees, be it in private or public schools. And my question is, if a parent cannot afford to pay a public school, how can they be able to pay for insurance education?
Thank you, Giovanni. Thank you for having me in the studio. The country has made a tremendous effort since the introduction of free primary education. And of course, the biggest problem we have as a country is transitioning the free primary education to a high school or grade 10 that we are having as a challenge at the moment. Yeah. So to answer your question, within the insurance sector, we have a very good education product that allows parents to start accumulating funds when their children are in grade 1 or 1 year old. So that by the time their kids are transitioning to grade 10 or university, they shall have accumulated huge amount of money to be able to take care of that particular purpose.
What time are we talking about? Are we talking the timelines? Are we talking about you start saving maybe in a period of 5 years, 10 years, or can a parent come to look for insurance right now as maybe they're taking their kids to grade 10 right now? Can insurance be a solution?
At the moment, as we speak now, the insurance cannot be a solution.
Why?
The reason is that our plans and programs are leveraging from 5 years to about 25 years. The essence here is to help parents start accumulating funds for the future education of their kids, because education is the most important investment parents can give their kids. So as you take care of the normal bills of housing, clothing, and of course food, you must make sure that you start accumulating funds. You set aside a certain amount of money on regular basis for the future education of your child. So when you're in crisis, where you need about 100,000 to transition your child to grade 10 and you don't have it, at the moment, at that point in time, the insurance cannot be able to help. So the essence and where the insurance company comes in is to discipline parents to start investing in their kids' education as early as when they are 1 month old, 1 year old, 2 years old. So they have ample time to start accumulating huge amount of money for the future education of
how much?
kids.
How much are we talking about? $1 million?
We are looking at the goal the parent wants. The parents who want their kid to go to private school, the parents who want their kid to go to public school, the parents who want their kid to go to university abroad. So depending with the goal the parent have, we are able to tailor-make products for them. Our products are pretty much flexible. We are looking at parents, Mama Bonga down there, saving about 80 shillings on a daily basis, or 100 shillings, that's about 1,000 shillings every month, to a parent who is saving $500,000 or $1 million every month for the future education of them.
What? $1 million per month for education?
Depending
okay,
with...
are their parents putting that kind of money?
There could be parents who are able to put such amount of money, especially when you're looking at your child going to a university abroad to do medicine.
Yeah.
We are talking about tuition fee accumulating up to about 78, 79 million to take care of your child in Cambridge. So for such a parent, you really need to start planning early to avoid such a scenario in future. Then there are those parents who want to take their kids to public school, especially when they're going to grade 10, especially when they're going to university. Probably they'll require to accumulate about 600,000. So if you want to start accumulating 600,000 when your child is about 1 year old, then you find you set aside about 1,500, 2,000 every single month towards that. So when that time comes, then you really don't struggle.
What is the lowest amount that a parent can start saving?
We are looking at a minimum of 1,000 shillings.
1,000
going
shillings.
upwards, yeah.
And then this parent is going to save maybe for 5 years? For about 5 years, 5,000 shillings, 1,000 shillings per month.
Yes.
In 5 years.
Yeah.
They'll have saved about 12,000. That is 1 year. Then 5 years, 60,000 shillings.
So I'm looking at a parent whose child is probably 1 month old.
Yeah.
When this child is going to grade 10, this child will be about 14 years old. So you can comfortably set aside 1,000 shillings for the next 14 years.
The next 14 years.
If you look at that amount of money that shall have been accumulated, then we talk about 300, 400,000.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
What do you do? You have saved all this money.
Yes.
And then something happens. A tragedy comes, an accident, you lose this child.
Yeah.
What happens to the money?
The money basically belongs to the parent. This is just an account that belongs to the parent. By the end of the day, the money at maturity will be paid to the parent's account through check or through an EFT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there some sort of interest?
So the plans are very flexible. During this particular period, the parent is saving with the organization. Of course, you also transfer the risk to the company. We talk about the disability, critical illness, accident, and of course, unfortunately, death. So you transfer all these risks that will affect your child should there be such a scenario. And basically, because of we attach a life cover to that, we guarantee that that amount of money you had anticipated to get when that time comes, then will be taken care of by the insurance company through the guardian that you shall have appointed to take care of this child.
Another scenario is maybe you've saved, say, 1 million shillings.
Yes.
And then your child has used maybe 700,000 shillings.
Yes.
So there's a remainder of 300,000 shillings.
Yes.
Are you able to get it, to access it?
So what happens is our programs and plans are very flexible. So we have a scenario where a parent wants, at that particular point in time when the policy matures, the whole amount of money transferred to his bank account. So whatever he does with that money then is at his discretion.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, probably the parent would be able to pay school fees on annual basis. We have some other programs, plans where we give money on annual basis to the parent. And the balance by the end of the period, then we transfer back to the parent's account. Yeah.
Do you have any statistics showing maybe the number of people who have partaken or that are benefiting from insurance versus the people who are not using it?
Unfortunately, the uptake is a little bit low because of awareness. As we speak now, about 14.6% have taken education policies for their kids. So there's an opportunity we have as a private sector to make sure that the awareness is really spread across the board. Because it's unfortunate that we have parents who are able to set aside 5,000, to set aside 3,000. But because of lack of awareness, they're not able to start accumulating funds for their future education of their kids. So at that point in time, should there be any eventuality of death, disability, of course, critical illness that affects their income at that point in time, then they start depending on bursaries. They start depending on Harambes, which really don't come forth. kids have passed probably grade 9, they're not able to go to grade 10. So they start depending on well-wishers. Well, the parents at initial stage was capable of starting to accumulate funds for that future education of the child.
There's a perception out there,
yes,
by larger members of the public, or rather a bigger percentage of the public, that insurance is an expensive affair, and therefore it's for the rich. It's not for the poor.
It is unfortunate. It is unfortunate perception, and it's upon the insurance as an industry to start making sure that that perception is actually not recovered in one way or the other. So the essence here is we have sales team across the board that helps us in spreading that particular gospel to that mama wa mboga down there, to that person who is employed recently, so that they get to understand that the insurance company is a bit flexible, and to make sure that they start accumulating funds for their future education of their kids.
When you take a child to school, then who pays the school fees? Is it the insurance company that is remitting this money directly to the school, or you remitting the money to the parent and then the parent pays? How does it go?
The essence of the education policies within the insurance industry is to discipline a parent to start accumulating funds for the future education of their kids. Naturally, we were never taught on how to save. We were taught how to spend money. So you find you are not able to accumulate funds on your own through some other financial streams. So if you get a vehicle that disciplines you to save within a certain period of time, then you make yourself easy to accumulate such funds. So at that point in time, when that time comes, we don't pay school fees for the parent. We transfer money to the parent or the client's account. Then the client pays school fees for their kids.
And then another scenario I just remembered: what happens to a parent who has been saving that money in the insurance scheme, and then maybe they have saved maybe $500,000, and then this parent has died, and then now the child is there remaining alone. The money is there with insurance. What happens to this child and the money?
Thank you for asking that question. Normally, education policies comes with the life cover attached to it, and this is where we we bring in a death benefit, we bring in disability benefit, we bring in critical illness benefit. So to answer your question, should a child die like now the products in Kenyan Alliance? What happens should a parent die? Unfortunately, the child depends on this parent. So the insurance comes in, where we waive any future premium. We stop that premiums from being paid, because by the end of the day, the child cannot go generate an income to pay the premiums or save the money the parent was saving previously. So what happens is we stop premiums from being paid. We waive future premium. But at that point in time, when that child is transitioning to grade 10 or university, then we avail that fund through the guardian that had been appointed by the parent to take care of the future education of that child.
Okay.
Yeah.
David Acham, thank you so much for your time. Unfortunately, we have to end that interview. David Acham is the National Sales Manager at Kenyan Alliance Insurance Company. Thank you for making the time to us.
Thank you
for educating the public out there. Now, the Geothermal Development Company has expanded geothermal exploration to Suswa in Narok County, seeking to tap 300 megawatts. Now, Geothermal Development Company Acting Managing Director Stephen Busenai says drilling rigs had been mobilized to Suswa, joining the company's other active projects in Menengai in Nakuru County, as well as Paka and Silali fields in Baringo County.
Kenya is Africa's leader in geothermal power, with nearly 1,000 megawatts of installed capacity and an estimated 10,000 megawatts of untapped potential along the Rift Valley. Geothermal Development Company has started exploration activities in Suswa. The project will be undertaken in 3 phases.
Suswa has a potential of about 300 megawatts. So 300 megawatts will probably be slightly more than 10% of what this country currently consumes daily basis, and that really would go a long way in improving the energy security of our country.
With the first phase targeting to drill steam to generate 100 megawatts of electricity.
The plan is for us to spud first on 1st of July. We want to spud our first one on 1st of July. We intend to use one rig initially, but once we get the results from that first well, we'll then be able to make a decision on whether to move another rig there.
The Geothermal Development Company Managing Director says experience from the company's projects in the counties of Nakuru and Baringo has strengthened its capacity in steam exploration.
We are going to Susu at a time when we have really more experience. We have all this experience that we've gathered. We've been able to work very well with the communities.
Sylvia Gatti for Lunchtime News.
Now, Kingdom Bank has expanded its operation to Embu, seeking to tap Eastern region's agricultural-based, vibrant cooperative movement and trading activity. Speaking in Embu, Kingdom Bank Managing Director Anthony Mburu said the lender is keen on agribusiness financing for coffee, tea, macadamia, horticulture, and even dairy farming, as well as farm machinery.
It is a county of production, enterprise, and promise. Its economy is deeply rooted in agriculture and trade, powered by farmers, cooperatives, traders, and MSMEs who form the backbone of this region. That Kingdom Bank will continue to bring banking closer to communities and to serve our customers with care, consistency, and excellence.
Now, Airtel Africa's total customer base increased by 10% to 179.4 million shillings for the period ended December 31st, 2025, supported by increased network investment, digitization, and innovative new partnerships. Airtel Africa Group's revenue of $4.67 billion increased by 28.3% in reported currency as a currency appreciation supported the strong underlying fundamentals of the business. Here are the details of these and other stories making headlines across the borders.
Airtel Africa's net profit increased to $586 million from $248 million in the prior period. Data revenues, the largest contributor to group revenues, increased 36.5%, with voice revenues growing by 13.5%. East Africa revenue grew by 18.2% in reported currency to $1.62 billion. Voice revenue growth was supported by customer base growth of 9.5%. The telco's customer base growth was largely driven by the expansion of both increased network coverage and the increasing scale of their distribution network. Data customer base growth of 15.9% and the data usage growth of 48.1% was the primary drivers of the data revenue growth during the period. Data usage per customer increased to 7.6 GB per customer per month, up by 25.3%. Meanwhile, truck drivers from several Balkan countries have blocked key border crossings into the Schengen area, protesting the European Union's strict entry and stay rules for non-European Union nationals. Drivers from countries including Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro and North Macedonia have parked their vehicles at Schengen border checkpoints to stage cargo blockades against the EU's entry-exit system, which is set to be implemented on April 10th. The EU entry-exit system will digitally record the entry and exit data of all travellers from non-Schengen countries, aiming to streamline border control and strengthen the identification and return of irregular migrants. Finally, stocks in South Korea closed sharply lower on Monday, with the benchmark Korea Composite Stock Price Index plunging more than 5% to record its steepest one-day decline since November 21, 2025. Seoul stocks tumbled 5.26%, with losses deepening in the afternoon session. Institutional and foreign investors led the rout, unloading shares of major semiconductor and large-cap technology firms as concerns mounted over tighter global financial conditions following recent developments in the United States monetary policy. Samsung Electronics ended lower, while chipmaker SK Hynix suffered steeper losses alongside declines in automakers, battery makers and defense stocks.
And now let's get sporty for a moment. Arsenal women were crowned world champions after edging Brazilian giants Corinthians 3-2 in the extra time to win the inaugural FIFA Women's Champions Cup at the Emirates Stadium. The match delivered high drama, quality football, and a historic moment for the North London club. Arsenal took the lead in the 15th minute through Olivia Smith, who finished off a well-worked move. Corinthians responded quickly as Gabi Zanotti equalized in the 21st minute. The Gunners regained control in the second half when Lotte Wuben-Moy headed home in the 58th minute. But Corinthians refused to back down, forcing an extra time with a 96th minute penalty converted by Vic Albakuki. In extra time, Caitlin Ford became the hero, smashing in the winner in the 104th minute after a slick team move.
Brilliant corner, but right on top of the goalkeeper's head, and it was smuggled over the line. Still down, Smith, as the ball's put across. Wuben-Moy wins the header, and it's in! Arsenal back in front, and Ruto Wuben-Moy wheels away to celebrate. Breaks on the edge of the penalty area, and again Wuben-Moy blocks. Still, VAR still looking at this then, checking for a possible penalty. Penalty Corinthians. Can she score the pressure? Spot kick now, yes she can! Corinthians level late on. Caitlin Ford forced wide. The shot across is in! And Arsenal back in front. Caitlin Ford with the goal. Arsenal are champions. Oh, how they had to.
And our youth in Kenya have been urged to showcase their talents and take advantage of government support programs as the country continues to grapple with high levels of youth unemployment. Now, the call was made by coach Austin Auma during an inter-school football competition that brought together private schools from Nairobi and Kiambu counties. Speaking at the event, Auma emphasized the need for talent identification at the grassroots level, noting that many gifted young people remain undiscovered in villages. Participants and stakeholders also highlighted the social benefits of school sports. Andrew Hondari noted that such competitions allow students to interact, build social skills and develop a teamwork. He encouraged young people to actively participate in sports to complement their natural abilities with skills that are increasingly in demand. As Kenya looks for suitable solutions to youth unemployment, stakeholders say nurturing talent through sports and education remains a powerful tool for empowering the next generation.
Asa tukiangalia mtaala mpya wa kiumilisi ambayo pia imechangia sana na kuzungumzia na kupiga jeki masuala ya kandanda na kukuza vipaji.
Huwa natembea kwa kijiji, naleta watoto pamoja ili wasifanye hizo mambo zingine mbaya. Ile siku wajaenda shule wanakuwa na mambo mingi.
Siku hizi vijana wengi wanarara mtaani, wanajihusisha na madawa za kulevya, lakini ukimleta kwa mpira inamsaidia sana, anapata marafiki na anazidi kujiunga sana na kuencourage watoto wengine.
Real Madrid are waiting to discover if midfielder Jude Bellingham faces a spell-out after he suffered a hamstring injury during the 2-1 win against Rayo Vallecano. The 22-year-old England international was replaced by Brahim Diaz after pulling his left hamstring less than 10 minutes into the La Liga match at the Bernabeu.
Kylian Mbappe scored a late penalty to earn Real Madrid a vital 2-1 win over Rayo Vallecano and stay 1 point behind La Liga leaders Barcelona on the table. Vinicius Jr. had given Real a 1-0 halftime lead before Jorge de Frutos leveled 4 minutes into the second half. In Germany, Serhu Girassi scored twice in quick succession as Borussia Dortmund came from behind in the second.
Dorsch to Behrens, change of angle. Lovely delivery, oh my goodness! Serhu Girassi, oh!
Martinez and Piotr Zielinski's first half strikes handed Inter Milan a 2-0 win over Cremonese, extending their lead at the top of Serie A to 8 points.
Cremona, Luis Enrique, more enterprising from him. Zielinski, an absolute beauty. How many times is that this season? First Verona, then Bologna, and now in Cremona.
And Juventus moved into the top 4 after a brace from Gleison Bremer helped them to a convincing 4-1 victory over Parma, extending their dominant run to just 1 defeat in the last 10 meetings.
Right, David, this is Kalulu. Great pace shown from Kalulu. He dinks it towards McKennie. A sumptuous finish from the American.
And that's all we had for you on Lunchtime News, the KBC Channel 1. My name is Giverson, Maina, and our sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. On behalf of everyone who made this newscast possible, we say thank you for watching. Bye-bye for now.